Live from 10 News, this is the Now San Diego.
Kellen Winslow Jr. is now out of jail. Good afternoon, I'm Kimberly Hunt. The former NFL star charged with rape posted $2 million bail. 10 News reporter Steve Fiorina is live, and Steve, Winslow Jr. is still being watched.
He was processed out of jail here in Vista late this morning, but complete freedom is not his. He is still under house arrest, wearing a GPS ankle bracelet, and if he violates that, then he gets rearrested and brought back to jail. Now, just yesterday in the courthouse over here, the former NFL tight end was bound over for trial on charges that he kidnapped and raped 2 women in Encinitas earlier this year. There was also another charge added. A woman said she was raped 15 years ago when she was 17 and Winslow was 19. He has denied the charges, but the DA says they have DNA and other evidence, including eyewitness testimony. Now, we have video of when he bailed out of jail when first arrested last month, but Winslow managed to avoid our cameras today. The son of a Charger star of yesteryear, he is due in court in August for another hearing, and then that would be another preliminary hearing that could lead to more charges. Live in Vista, Steve Fiorina, 10 News.
Thank you, Steve. Flames tore through a lakeside mobile home this afternoon. The elderly woman who lives in the home on Harriet Road says she accidentally drove into the gas line, starting the fire. A neighbor had to get help to get her out of her car. Another neighbor got her dog out of the mobile home. Everybody is okay. The fire didn't spread to any neighboring homes. In a charred trail of destruction in Ocean Beach, police say a man set one fire after another over a 10-block area overnight. And as 10 News anchor Jim Patton reports, firefighters say the man lit trash cans on fire and then put near cars and fences on fire as well.
The loss of a real classic here. Now, it started, firefighters tell us, when the arsonist lit this box on fire and then dropped it into this convertible MGB 1979 convertible. Had been restored over the last 4 years and now just about completely destroyed because of a man who went on a fire lighting tirade. Just before 6 a.m. on Muir Avenue at West Point Loma Boulevard in Ocean Beach. Flames from an ignited garbage can spreading to a fence and sending neighbors scrambling for safety.
Well, I know, and that's the only way out of that residence.
Sure enough, there's a big old trash can flame on fire, so told my kids, get up.
San Diego firefighters say the calls began just after 11 p.m. and continued throughout the night.
Anytime you have multiple fires set that quickly in that small area, you know something's going on.
At least a half dozen full-blown fires over a 10-block area, torching trash cans and cars.
I don't think I'll be able to drive it back home to Tucson, Arizona.
And someone had pushed a couple of recycling bins up against my wife and my cars and lit some paper on fire.
Police detaining this man, who neighbors say was caught with a butane lighter. He's also known around the neighborhood as someone who often is seen singing or ranting.
Doesn't surprise me sometimes what's going on here in Ocean Beach. Sometimes we're having fun and sometimes we're watching out for each other.
And take a look at this. Neighbors tell us that the man who started these fires at one point tried to remove this propane tank from the barbecue here, but fortunately the owner keeps it locked up. So you saw that butane lighter he had on him when he was arrested. That's believed to have come from this barbecue. Nobody injured. There is an arson investigation underway. As for the lost sports car, the man who owns it has started a GoFundMe page. He only had liability insurance on the car, and you can find a link to that at 10news.com. Reporting in OB, Jim Patton, 10 News.
Such a shame, Jim. Thank you. And a short time ago, San Diego police identified the accused arsonist as 26-year-old Michael Berenger. We found no record of any criminal past.
Let's take a look at our lineup for today. And there's been a lot of criticism of the government's response after Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico. Well, now FEMA's admitting it was significantly underprepared to deal with the devastation. We'll get into that and what the agency says it's learning for future storms. Also, our investigative team looking into how one tech company is uncovering hidden info inside of drones. You have to see what's being revealed here, how it's being used. Very interesting story. And let's face it, this month, a lot of us might be dealing with a little bit bigger energy bills. You think cranking the AC up a little bit. But how you can cut the cost will tell you ways that maybe you didn't think of. And you could soon get a tax break for joining the gym or going to an exercise class, which sounds pretty nice, right? We're going to tell you how that would work. That's ahead here on The Now.
That does sound interesting. Thank you, Chris. And a hearing in San Diego on the separation of undocumented immigrant children from their parents just wrapped up. The judge told the government the July 26th deadline to reunite children over 5 years old with their parents stands. The government says it has a plan to streamline the process, but it didn't have it ready yet. It promised to have it for the court by the end of the day. The judge gave the government until next week to account for the whereabouts of all of the children over 5 years old. And this will be a big 3 days in and around Hillcrest. San Diego's Pride weekend kicks off today. About 300,000 people are expected to attend the 3-day festivities. The block party in Hillcrest began this afternoon at 2 o'clock. It features performances, food trucks, and a laser light show. At 6 o'clock, there is the Spirit of Stonewall rally commemorating the 1969 uprising against anti-gay police discrimination. We'll have live coverage of that. And the main event, of course, is the Pride Parade. It begins at the Pride Flag in Hillcrest tomorrow at 11 a.m. Our 10 News team will be there. And for the first time, the entire parade will stream live on 10news.com.
Let's get to the Now news feed. Important stories we'll tell you in a short amount of time, especially this new scam to warn you about. The FDA saying look out for fake letters claiming to be from the government. They're being sent to people who tried to buy meds online or over the phone. The letters claiming the FDA is investigating the drugs. Well, don't expect to see Papa John's founder John Schnatter in commercials anymore. The pizza company pulling his image from their marketing. University of Louisville also today saying that it's removing his name from its football stadium. Yeah, he stepped down this week after saying a racial slur on a phone call in March. Now, Nissan's recalling more than 100,000 cars today. Yeah, it's to replace Takata airbags on the passenger side. Recall includes the 2011 Versa and 2011-2012 Versa hatchback. Yeah, the airbags, they could explode. All right, well, the Justice Department is indicting 12 Russian nationals today for their suspected role in the 2016 election. Yeah, they're accused of hacking the DNC's computer network. All 12 people are members of the Russian Federation Intelligence Agency. Now, the indictments come just 2 days before President Trump, of course, set to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Finland. And today, President Trump, he is denying that he criticized UK Prime Minister Theresa May. It is just a day since he gave an explosive interview calling her out. All right, let's get into this. The Now's Corey Rangel tracking these developments and what's next as the president gets ready for his meeting with Putin.
Today, President Trump did his best to put out a political firestorm he sparked from an explosive interview with a British newspaper.
I have a lot of respect for the Prime Minister, and unfortunately there was a story that was done which was, generally fine.
After criticizing British Prime Minister Theresa May in the interview, today the president stood beside her and tried to smooth things over. In the interview, the president questioned May's handling of Brexit, openly praised her political rival, and threatened the trade relationship between our two countries. Today, the president offered a rare apology.
She's a total professional, because when I saw her this morning, I said, I want to apologize because I said such good things about you. She said, don't worry, it's only the press.
As the president tries to calm things over in the UK, his next high-profile meeting could be another rocky one. On Monday, he'll wrap up his 7-day foreign trip by meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. This on the heels of today's big news that the U.S. has accused a dozen Russian military officers of trying to interfere in the 2016 presidential election.
Well, we'll be talking about meddling, and I will absolutely bring that up. I don't think you'll have any, gee, I did it, you got me. There won't be a Perry Mason here, I don't think, but you never know what happens, right? But I will absolutely, firmly ask the question.
President Trump's turbulent trip, perhaps coming to a dramatic end. For the Now, I'm Corey Rangel.
Corey, thank you. Let's get back to our lineup here. And FEMA now admitting that it wasn't ready to deal with what Hurricane Maria did to Puerto Rico. what the agency says it's learning for future storms. That's when the Now continues.